What's up? It's Chris, Redbeard Videos, and back with you again for another listen through. I have no theme song for this. It's just the opening thing. So a lot of stuff coming out this year already so far, and I think every time that something comes out, I think I'm going to do this type of thing where I listen through and I do a review that way. This way, I don't feel like I'm being negative. The reason why I haven't done record reviews to this point on a regular basis is because, A, there's a million people in the world that do that. Do you really need another person who to say more or less the same thing? Most people agree. Only edgelords will sometimes branch out and say some different things. And it's good to hear different perspectives, don't get me wrong. But we don't need a million of them, okay? So I've decided that I'm not going to be one of those. I've also decided I'm not going to be one of those because I don't know. I just don't like the trash art very often. Even if I don't like it, you won't get much more out of me past I don't really like this that much for whatever reason, right? Sometimes I'll talk about like I don't like a melody, like with Dream Theater, for example. I'm not really pleased with their melodies, so I'll say that. I think James LaBrie is on the in the twilight of his career. Actually, I think he's beyond the twilight of his career. So I'll say that. But like beyond that, I don't know. I am a board op and I have done engineering in terms of music engineering and stuff like that. So I do have a good ear for sound. But I'm not like a production wizard like an Anthony Fantano who can really pick out like nuances in productions. I can just more or less be like, that sounds cool, or that doesn't sound cool, or that sounds bad, or that doesn't sound bad. Like it's very remedial. my reviews sometimes. However, I find it interesting when you see someone listen to something for the first time and you get that initial response. And I think it's interesting to go back and look at it and see where I've progressed with that particular piece of music. So this is kind of an exercise for me, but it's also an exercise for you, because if you're listening to this with me for the first time or for the second time, or you've already heard this, but hearing my perspective and my initial listen will put a different spin on what's going on in your head or what you've heard, or maybe I point out something that you didn't hear, that you haven't heard. That's why I'm here. It's a service. You're welcome. But anyway, for this particular episode, we're going to do the brand new Coheed and Cambria album, The Father of Make Believe. And I did this with the last Coheed album, Vaxis 2. And now I'm going to do it with this one, The Father of Make Believe. It's very highly anticipated, especially in my house, where I had some little nuggets ruined for me, even though I tried my best to avoid the text message thread with my four sons who are all ardent, huge Coheed and Cambria fans. Yes, I raised my children right. So I got onslaughted at midnight on Friday morning or Thursday night, whatever, with, oh my God, this, that, and the other. So I'm interested to see if what they heard is what I'm going to hear. I do have some preconceived notions in my head, unfortunately, but nothing to ruin the experience. Let's put it that way. I'm just looking out for certain little tidbits. Like, for example, I heard that there's an Afterman callback here, which is awesome because that's my favorite Coheed and Cambria collection of albums, the two Afterman albums. So I'm excited to hear that and see if that comes to fruition. So without further ado, we're going to dive into part 3 of this current run of concept albums that Coheed and Cambria does, called The Father of Make Believe. It's Vaxis 3. And let's do it. I'm super excited. So I can't wait to hear what this sounds like. I've heard 3 of the songs already. I heard Blindside Sunny, Searching for Tomorrow, and Someone Who Can. And I love all 3 of those songs. 2 of them more than another one of them, but I'll save that because we're going to listen through them. And just so you know, I had a complaint on my Dream Theater listen through video that was on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're wondering why I'm sitting there listening, but you can't hear the music I'm listening to, it's due to copyright stuff. And it's also because I have a Patreon page, which is also Redbeard Videos. It's $3 a month, and I will post the entire listen through, no matter how long it takes. The Dream Theater one was 2.5 hours. So no matter how long it takes, I will post the entirety of that video on my Patreon page. It's $3 for 1 month. You can pay for just 1 month and watch this video if you want to see the complete, full, unvarnished, really very little edits unless I take a break or something, unless I take a long ass break where I have to go use the bathroom or something. There are no edits really. I just do this straight for the Patreon. So that's what you get for paying for $3 over there. Plus, you can check out episodes of Old School, which I think this week, in celebration of Coheed and Cambria, I will post one of the many interviews I have with that band in the Old School section on my Patreon. So for $3 a month, that's what you can get. So let's get to the album, shall we? But first things first, let me just take a moment out here to please remind you to like and subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel and please like the video. It pushes us into the algorithm and it gets us going forward motion. I'm on the forward motion thing. It's on its way. We're picking up subscribers here and there, but I really want to set a goal. I just want to set a goal to get to, I don't know, let's say 10,000. I want to get to 10,000 subscribers by this time next year. So like a full year. Halloween 2025. I'm not asking for much. It's 10,000 people. So share this with your friends, will you? All right, back to the album. All right, here we are. First track, Yesterday's Lost. I got new headphones and they're hella noise canceling, so I'm getting the full experience. So here we go. Also, I'm starting at 6 seconds in. I'm stopping it already, 6 seconds in. A lot like Dream Theater, just so you understand my expectations. Coheed and Cambria, to me, especially Claudio Sanchez, master melody writer. Master. If I don't get at least 5 to 7 melodies that are going to be stuck in my head for the next year and a half, I'm disappointed. In addition to that, I at the beginning of Vaxxis 2, that open almost damn near made me weep. So we're already starting slow here. You can expect maybe some tears from this album. I'm not going to lie to you. Vaxxis 2 had me choked up once or twice. So we're going to see what happens here. So here we go. So this is the second album in a row where we've got a very, very dramatic and theatrical and cinematic. Forget theatrical. This is cinematic. This is the second album in a row where it's very big and cinematic type of open, which to me is just, I don't know, man. Like they are coming into their, like, I don't want to say they're coming into their own because they've been in their own, but they're like reaching a next level of production and conceptual grandiosity that I don't know, man. Like, I feel like a movie's on the horizon because this is really big. Like, it is big sounding, okay? And the last album was the same way. So I'm hella stoked already. This is incredible already.
Don't want you to go.
That's sweet. Seriously, who does it better? Who fucking does it better at writing melodic choruses than Claudio fucking Sanchez at this point? Who does it better? I'll wait. I don't know who does. Is there anyone in this game right now who can write a chorus like that and do it time and time and time and time again and not have it get old and not have it get boring and not have it be the same rote shit over and over again? It's phenomenal. I know I'm like 5 minutes into this album and I'm already taken by what I've heard. I mean, I gotta tell you, again, like his choruses like choke me up. Like, that's how good they are. Like, they hit, like, maybe this is just me. You know, obviously let me know in the comments if I'm off base here. But like, there's something about his melody lines that every time hit that like spot in me. Like, I'm like legit choked up right now, just based on, and obviously the lyrics too. I mean, the lyrics to this are, you know, look, I'm not going to get into lyrics. I'm not going to make this a 7-hour video by diving into lyrics. But the long story short is that like everything he does has a measure of emotion to it that definitely hits the spot, and his melodies pay it off. Like, it's one thing to have good words, but it's a complete other to pay it off with tremendous melodies. And also, just so you understand where I'm coming from when it comes to the Coheed and Cambria thing, if you hear me say the words typical Coheed and Cambria, that's not a knock. That's not a knock. If I'm going to knock Coheed, you'll hear me say something very pointed. Typical Coheed and Cambria is better than most. It's like how I feel about Rush. It's the same deal. Typical Rush is better than most, and typical Coheed and Cambria is better than most. And let me just say one more thing. And the other thing I love about this band that I think is brilliant, and it's very, very exemplified here. So first off, the production's a little different. The guitar sounds are different here than we heard on Vaxis 2. There's a much more raw sound, I think, on just on this song. I don't know if it's going to carry through. But on this song, there's a much more raw sound than we heard on Vaxis. Also, who else in music right now, not named Foo Fighters and maybe a handful of others, writes typical poppy style rock music and can still be heavy too? Like obviously this song's not very heavy, but Coheed still whips out the heaviness every once in a while. Most bands that can be heavy like that do not pull out this type of pop stuff, this pop sensibility, where I can hear this on the radio. I can hear this on the beach. I can hear, you know what I mean? Like, this is like the type of stuff that, like, when in the 90s, when I was walking around and, like, I'd hear music on the beach, like the early 90s, late 80s, like, you'd hear pop rock all the time. This is, and I'm not trying to peg them as, like, hair metal or something like that. It's obviously completely different. But it's still got this strong pop sensibility that cannot be denied. So yeah, just wonderful, just wonderful overall so far. But this is what I mean. Like, this is exactly what I mean. You came out of this like pop rock song, like this straight pop rock song, into this like look, I'm not going to say they went prog metal here, but this is definitely way more technical, intense, heavier than what you just heard. And the transition is just flawless. It's just a flawless transition. I'm loving a lot of the guitar work too. Not that I don't normally. I normally love what Travis and Claudio do. But yeah, I'm already noticing it. Like, even in the pop rock type song, in the first song there was a lot of, like, not a lot, but there was a dueling guitar situation at the end of that song. And now we got this going on here in the riff. It's really well done so far. Hell yeah. They even throw a fat breakdown in there. And my God, the return of the shoulders guitar sound, which I didn't love from Vaxis 2. I did not love that guitar sound, but it works here. When it's chuggy like this, it works. I didn't love it for the entirety of the shoulders song, but I like it here. It works here. All right, before we get into the transition into the next song, because it says there's like 7 seconds left, so I don't know if there's going to be a transition, but we got the title track coming up, which is another one I haven't heard. And just one more thing on Searching for Tomorrow. Again, like, out of the 3 singles that came out, this was the most typical Coheed song. The other 2 were definitely at least to a few feet outside the box. They weren't like miles out of the box. Like Blindside Sunny was for sure, but the other one was kind of still in the Coheed realm, but something different. This was kind of your typical. I say ho hum, but it's not an insult. As I said at the top, when I say typical Coheed, that's a good thing. That's a stellar song. Searching for Tomorrow is a great song, great driving tune, got some heaviness in there, still with the great melodies. I don't know. No one does it better when it comes to the melody stuff. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head since Rush is retired that writes better vocal melodies, and especially since Dream Theater has kind of lost that over the last decade. Very few artists will you will not convince me that they write better melodies than Claudio Sanchez does. He's just got an ear for it. It's remarkable how it's developed, and it's always been there. but it's never old, and he comes up with new stuff all the time. It's wild. It's completely remarkable to me to sustain a career this long, and they really haven't had any misses, right? They had one album, Year of the Black Rainbow, which I wouldn't even consider a miss. I would just say you can hear the angst. And maybe we'll go into that someday about, like, maybe when I do my fandom files on Coheed, which is coming soon, sooner or later, probably in the next few months, I would imagine. We'll get into that. There was a lot of angst and a lot of darkness surrounding that album, and you could feel it. But still, tremendous songs on that record. Like, every song is a banger. There's like maybe one song that I can do without. Maybe. I can't even think off the top of my head. So, all right. So now we're moving into another new song for me, which is the title track. So here we go. Has Claudio ever sounded better? Holy shit. Like, there was a noticeable shift in his voice when Vaxis 1 came out. I don't know if he made a concerted effort to try and, like, maybe pick up some technique, or maybe the COVID break from not being able to tour relentlessly, because Coheed's one of those bands that just tours. They just tour. And maybe, like, being a dad, the COVID thing, time and space, maybe it's given him some time to, like, not abuse his voice as much. Or maybe he picked up a technique somewhere, like maybe he took some lessons, or maybe he just worked on some things, or maybe he's just writing to his voice more. I don't really know. You'd have to ask the man. I hope to be able to talk to him someday. He's the only one in this band. Well, I've never interviewed Zach either because he's fairly new. But Zach and Claudio are the only two in this band currently that I've never interviewed. The old bassist and Chris Penny I have spoken to. And then I've interviewed Josh multiple times and Travis once. I've never had a chance to talk to the man, the myth, the legend, Claudio Sanchez. And I would love to ask him that. I don't know if anyone's asked him that. I haven't done a deep dive on Claudio interviews in a while. I'm sure one of my kids could tell me if he's ever talked about his vocal development. But it's just, it's kind of like a night and day scenario where his voice has always been good, in my opinion. Granted, he was a little spotty live, but he's not even that anymore at all. Like, he's dead on live usually, or at the very least, if he's struggling with something, or he can't make a note for whatever reason, or he just runs out of breath, or he's busy playing guitar, there's always a reason, right? It's not just his voice crapped out. But in the past, I'd seen them live. I've seen Coheed live, I don't know, probably upwards of nearly 20 times now at this point. And in the early days, the first time I saw them was during Four. I call it Four, but Good Apollo, the first Good Apollo. It was a little spotty at times. And if you watch the Neverender DVD set from, I think it's like over a decade ago now. I think it's probably longer than that. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's probably, I don't know, closer to 2010, right? So his voice was spotty during that too. And granted, he was in a tough spot performing each album 4 nights in a row. Like, that's a tough spot for any performer. But what I just heard in this little passage here, with the shoulders behind, so we're gonna hear this in the play out. This voice here. That's incredible. That's just incredible. I'm just uber impressed. That's all. All right, we're gonna let it play.
I'm the father of make-believe.
Well, that was fucking huge. I love that. First off, these lyrics are killer. I said I wasn't going to dive into lyrics, but I keep hearing phrases. The one that caught my ear here was, just take my hand when the monsters turn out the lights. That's fucking... that's amazing. I love that. I love that line. Like, the thing with Coheed is that you have to, like, read the lyrics and comprehend them and understand that there's a story going on, but also, like, obviously, this, like, the whole Vaxis storyline is, like, reflective of the fact that he became a dad, and he's conveying things to his own child and talking about, like, his own, like, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, there's something about this band, and there's something about him as a writer that he really connects with his audience. And I'll never understand the hate that, like, I saw some things online where people were like, this, I haven't been bored yet. There hasn't been a moment where I was sitting here going, okay, all right, well, I feel like I've heard this before. I feel like I'm just like shining the apple of Coheed and Cambria here, but I can't help it. Like, I have yet to hear one bad moment so far. We're, 3 full songs into this? And I have yet to hear a bad moment. So let's see what the next one is. Mary of Mercy. So we're going to meet another character, it seems. Here we go. This is pretty.
The familiar feels so foreign.
Let me note one other thing too. I don't know if it's just me, and maybe I'm just making this remark because I just noticed it now. But I feel like all of these songs, in terms of the vocalization, they're all starting in a low register, which is not a typical thing, I feel like, for Coheed and Cambria. I may have to go back and do some more research on that, whether or not that's a correct assertion, but it's what I'm saying right now is my initial response, is that I feel like all these, and that's not a bad thing, it's just something I've noticed that's a slight difference compared to what's happened in the past. So,
As I search,
so as I'm tearing up here a little bit, because that chorus just hit me. Remain professional, Elio. Josh playing his ass off on this, by the way. The dude might be the master of the single bass drum. I've heard things out of him over these last 2 or 3 albums that have really made me want to put him on the a higher echelon of drummers. I think he's wildly underrated. And granted, there's nothing here that he's doing that's like remarkable. Even you could see my newly minted drum set behind me. As a hobby drummer, that's what I would call myself. I'm in no stretch a drummer. I've never really even played in a band, but I can if I wanted to. But I play for my own enjoyment. That's pretty much as far as it goes, right? Maybe I'll join a band or something, but this is not about me. As someone who appreciates drums, and always have, I'm a singer first, but like someone who's always appreciated drums on the highest level, like I'm always paying attention to the drums. It's not just the technicality for which he plays, and it's not the speed, and it's not the fills. He's got a creative way of writing drums too, which are remarkable to me. That to me is most impressive. Being an ardent Neil Peart fan, that's why I love him. It's not because he can play faster or his drum solos are better than anybody else. I mean, his drum solos are better than everybody else's, but that's because of how good a writer Neil Peart was. And it's the same thing here. I've never heard Josh Eppert do a drum solo, but yet the stuff he plays within the songs, very creative, very well done, never overbearing, never too showy, but it's really hard. I don't think it's easy. And granted, I'm sure there's a drummer out there watching this right now going, whoa, that's easy, I can do that. I'm sure you can, but can you write it as well? That's the question. That's what's important here. Any trained drummer, a lot of trained drummers can go. I've met many a drummer in my travels and in my life who can play any Rush song, but can you write that shit? That's the difference. To me, that's the massive difference. So, credit to Josh Eppert here for his playing. I like the creative bass drumming here. I'm going to back this up a little bit. Only a second. Interestingly, I'm going to stop again because I'm reading the lyrics now on a lyric website. And there's something called a post-chorus. I've never heard of a post-chorus before. Like, that's something I've never heard. But that one line is, "There's something wrong with me." It's labeled post-chorus. That's new to me. I've never heard of a post-chorus. All right, here we go. Okay. Oh, fuck this guy. God damn it. Like, I know he wrote this about his wife. And the reason why I know that is because I'm feeling the same thing. This is fucking absurd. Fucking Claudio Sanchez, man. Fuck. I just messaged my wife. The world will know my love for her because of this moment right here. By the way, the lyric is, the one that's got me here is this chorus, and it says, Mary, I'm not going to quit until I can sit at the end of this life with you there beside me. When all goes dark and I can't see, all my memories lost, I know you're always with me. I'm okay. I'm not crying, you're crying. Seriously, Claudio, stop. You're fucking killing me, dude. Fuck. All right, Blindside Sonny's next. I know what this song is, so we're about to kick it up a bit. So here we go. Oh, man. Enough of this crying shit. Gotta man up. We're in America. No crying in baseball. So this song is vastly different. Okay, this song is wildly different than anything I've ever heard Coheed do. From the guitar sound to the vocalization to the 2.5 minute version, like the 2.5 minute full ass song. Like all of these things are unique to Coheed, which brings me to the point that I think it's remarkable and it's worth noting that as much as Mary of Mercy and the first song, the first song. Oh no, I'm sorry. Even three of these songs, like a few of these songs now, have sounded like typical Coheed and Cambria, whereas this does not at all. This song's a fucking banger. I heard them do this live long before this album came out, long before the single came out. I saw this in a show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It was a one-off type of headline show that they were doing during the Primus tour. And they played this song, and it was remarkable, and it's such a good song. Actually, I think they played it at the Primus show too, now that I think about it. But anyway, it's a killer song. And there goes Josh with the gallop, master at the one. There's no double bass there. I know that's not a terribly difficult thing to do, but it's impressive to me. So. Okay, shit. Hold on. I gotta stop. That was too quick a turnaround. Fuck. What are they doing? They don't ever do this type of thing. Like, just go right into another song? Is this like the same character? I wonder. Because this is the third character we've met, right? Right? We met the father of Make Believe. We met Mary of Mercy. And now we've met Blindside Sonny. But this has the same exact tone. And this is like not something they normally do. This is a whole new thing. So I'm going to take this to the top of this section again, to play the poet here. And this is wild. I'm like seriously like excited by what's happening here. This is a whole different thing, which is awesome, by the way. I fucking love that. I love it. This place meant for our grave. Oh my God. Fucking who does this better? I can't say it enough times. That's fucking wild. That's an incredible chorus. That's amazing. And then lyrically, I can't rely on you to play the game and abide by the rules. Born to play the poet, fire your words like bombs and bullets, and aim for my head going in. Oh my God. Fucking Claudio, man. He's on one. We're going to listen to this chorus again. I'm sorry, I was interrupted. Play the Poet was fucking wild. That whole song is tremendous. The performances on there, Josh plays his ass off on there. Fantastic. I love the back-to-back with the same kind of sonic feel to it. And then where Blindside Sonny was kind of devoid of the melody, the melodic chorus that we're used to from Coheed, Play the Poet makes that up in spades. Like it goes above and beyond. So, and the breakdown in that song is just fucking wild. It's a great song. Play the Poet is already a top tier Coheed song in the whole catalog, not just for this album.
America, tongue.
Do I even have to say it? You know what I'm going to say, right? Like, you know what I'm going to say. That was some poppy ass shit. And that was awesome. Like, you know what I'm going to say. I don't even need to say it anymore, do I?
Angel here within.
And again, Claudio's voice. I mean, he's just hitting notes with such ease at this point. And he's just doing it. And it sounds clear and it doesn't sound strained. And it's just, God, his voice sounds so good. And he's getting older. Like, I don't know what kind of miracle he's performing, but I wish he would go over to the Dream Theater camp and be like, hey, James, come over here. Let's talk for a few minutes. I don't know if this is a genetic thing or whatever, but either way, I mean, Claudio's what, in his mid-40s? I know he's still got, I know James LaBrie from Dream Theater has like a good 15, at least 15, almost 20 years on him. So, look, I'm not trying to compare. I'm just saying, like, he just sounds amazing. He just sounds so What a great pop rock song. Just a great pop rock song, period. It is a conduit song. That's what I would call it. It's like bridging a gap, coming out of all that happened with Blindside Sonny and Play the Poet into this. It's definitely it's like a palate cleanse of sorts, but a wonderful song. Just wonderfully poppy and melodic and just good Coheed song. That's kind of a regular Coheed song. It's really good. Claudio, I'm looking right at your face as you stare at me as I'm watching this, right? Because it's on my screen right here. If you make me cry one more time, motherfucker, I quit. I just quit forever. Don't do it. I'm a weepy bitch right now. I don't know what's up with that, but... God damn it. I'm not leaving again this time. This one is not as bad as Mary of Mercy, but fuck, dude. Dude loves his wife. That's... It's good to see. This is why I love music so much. Because... and Coheed's remarkable. I'm going to tell a little story here. Because Coheed's remarkable with this. It seems that every time that I'm going... and I'm in a phase of life... This fucking guy, and it might be because we're of similar ages, possibly, but like, I think I'm maybe 2 or 3 years older than Claudio Sanchez. I can't recall. I feel like I've figured this out once before. His music always like speaks to me, and it's not just like it speaks to me. Like look, I'm like, all music speaks to me. Okay, like I'm just I'm literally a year and a half older than him. So. Than Claudio Sanchez. So like, but music always speaks to me. Like it always does. This is nothing new, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Kiss even speaks to me on a certain level. Sure, it's a very remedial and base level, but it does. It speaks to me. That's why I connected with it as a child, and it carried me through my childhood and into my teen years and so on and so forth. And it went on from there, right? But it seems that like Claudio Sanchez literally narrates my fucking life. Like, Afterman came out, I was going through a divorce. Lots of things in that album, like on that album, from songs like Dark Side of Me to, what are some of the other ones? I can't think off the top of my head. The Afterman and Good Night Fair Lady. Like, there are certain songs that lyrically and musically just kind of hit me just right. Iron Fist was another one. Like, these were songs that just kind of hit me right. Then, during when Color Before the Sun came out, I was going through a major transition as I was leaving California, trying to build my business up, trying to move here to where I am now. My kids had left with their mom, not in like any kind of, there was no animus or anything. It was just the way we were trying to do things. So I was away from my kids for a few months, and it was just, so like songs like Island and Atlas and songs like that, like, just hit me right in the right spot. And then even songs like The Audience, where I was trying to do something professionally that wasn't sticking, and I was sacrificing my own self to make that work. Like, these are songs that connected with me on a on an incredibly deep level. And now I'm like content and more or less happy with life. I'm upset that the world is burning and that sucks, but I'm glad that like my personal life is in the order that I want it to be in. And there are songs on here that are speaking right to me, like right to me. And it's hitting me. And this is what happened when I listened to the Afterman the first time. I was weepy the whole fucking time. Color Before the Sun, same shit. I remember I was driving, I think we were driving home from Los Angeles in California up back to the Northern California area where we lived, and I was with my oldest son, and he's like the prime Coheed and Cambria fan. Like I introduced it to him, but then he took it and made it that's like his Rush. Okay, that's what I always said. It's like his Rush. Like there have been other artists and bands that have come and gone, and he has favorites and current favorites and whatever. But I believe in his heart of hearts, Coheed and Cambria is probably like his number one favorite band, right? And Rush is my number one favorite band, even though there are other bands like Coheed and Cambria is like, I'm going to listen to Coheed and Cambria for the next 6 weeks on end without stopping. I'm sure of it. Right? Rush won't even enter my ears for the next 6 weeks, but Coheed and Cambria will be there constantly. So it's an interesting connection that I have with this band, and it's happening again. Well, that was beautiful. As Screech Powers would say, that was beautiful. Next song is, I believe it was the third single, Someone Who Can. Was this the third single or the second one? I don't remember now. But I do know this song. This is a little bit different than Coheed songs have been in the past. But not very. It's still a Coheed song, so. Like it still has the poppiness that you expect from Coheed, but I don't know, there's something about it sonically that's different than what I'm used to with Coheed. Like to me, this this song strikes me as like an 80s song almost. It's got an 80s feel to it. From the beat to the melodies, the whole bit, like I got like a weird like Don Henley vibe. Like, does that make sense? Like, that's kind of a very random name to pull out, but that's kind of, I don't know, I got like this, it's a weird, I don't want to say new wave because it doesn't sound like new wave, but it's got that same kind of beat. And it's probably like reaching more back to the 80s than they've ever done before. So it's pretty cool. Also, I get like late 80s, early 90s teen comedy vibe. You know, like I can see a kid like skateboarding to school or something. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it feels to me. Like it's almost like the You Got Spirit Kid video would fit this song like perfectly, you know? Like it's really interesting.
Give me love, give me light, give me fire. No maybes, don't drive crazy. Come on, lady, let's just dance once more. See, I was yours. This can't.
And I have to say that, we're into the Continuum 1. Okay. Before I get into that, one other remark I want to say about that song and about the singles as a whole. Coheed and Cambria did a phenomenal job of really giving you all the flavors of this record with the 3 singles they released. Now, I say that before we head into this next section, which looks like it's going to be an end section, similar to Vaxxus 2. Now, Vaxxus 2, they did pretty much just a kind of a pop rock record until the end, and then they hit all the progressive rock and all the progressive metal, massive story building and the whole nine. So I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen here. I bet that's what's going to happen. How long is this song? This song's only 3.5 minutes. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen going forward? But the 3 songs, Searching for Tomorrow, Blindside Sunny, and Someone Who Can, give you 3 very distinct flavors that give you an idea. Like, it's almost like it was the perfect swatch sampler that you can pick up at like a paint store or something. If you wanted to get 3 different shades of the same color, they did a wonderful job on that with these singles. Now on to what I'm assuming is the prog rock, prog metal, story building, concept album stuff with the Continuum one. I know we got some of it on the first few, like on the first 8 songs or whatever, but I think we're really going to get into it now. Let's see.
Internal battery low.
And right off the bat. Right off the bat.
Cyrus, would you like to initiate free fall?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did he just say Cyrus? Did I just hear that right? Did she just say Cyrus? Is that All Mother? Has All Mother made a return?
Internal battery low. Cyrus, would you like to initiate
What? There's the Afterman callback. All right, before we get into the chorus, wait, wow, the guitar and the drum work in this verse are just astronomical. Dude, Josh Efford is fucking nailing it on the bass drum. All right. A lot to take in there. I didn't stop it because there was a lot happening. So, including my mouse dying. So, so I had to plug that in. So, saw that live and in real time. There you go. A pretty progressive rock song right there. Nice middle section. Pretty awesome. Got some serious world building going on here. Heard the Afterman, the Cyrus and All Mother thing happening. So, the next one is called The Flood, the Continuum 2. So let's see where this goes. All right, I need to just say it again one more time, and I don't think I'll mention it again until the very end. My goodness, Claudio's voice is just... It is pretty... I mentioned it earlier. Immaculate is the word I would put. It's just... It's got everything that you could want in a melodic voice for this type of music. He's just so on point, and his notes are clear, and even with the little distorted effect on his voice, I don't know if there's a more appealing singer out there to me right now. And I know a lot of people, a lot like Rush, and I always compare Coheed to Rush in their trajectory, not in their music style, so please don't come in my comments talking about how they're nothing like Rush. I'm aware of that. I'm talking about their career path, the music writing specifically, and like just how clear and concise and just generally wonderful Claudio's voice is. And I know it puts off a lot of people, but not this guy. Not at all. Understand, you should be afraid. We're definitely getting low Claudio voice way more on this record than ever before. And that's not a criticism, and that's not a problem. I actually appreciate the fact that he's going outside of what he normally does. And maybe it's in an effort to, I don't know, blaze a path forward where he doesn't have to do so many of these high songs in a set list. Or if that's just what the song called for, because he's hitting some very high notes here. But the difference is that Claudio always kind of lived in those high notes. Like, as a singer myself, I sing all these things. Like, I sing in my car, I sing in my house, I've done karaoke professionally, like as a DJ. I was in bands that used to cover songs. So I've done a lot. And Claudio was always hard to sing because he always kind of lived in a very high register. That's not the case here. On this album, I don't know what the percentages are, like what the separation is, but it seems to me that I'm hearing the low register Claudio way more often than I usually do. And that's really wonderful. That's actually really, it's the sign of a great songwriter, in my opinion, that he's willing to explore other facets of his own voice, and even down to like doing Blindside Sunny, where there's more of a scream thing to it, and of course it's got effects on it and whatever, but it's just making different sounds and making different noises and different styles, so you don't get complacent, so you don't get boring, so you can still do the regular Coheed thing and have people not go, ugh, this again. Like, yeah, it is this again, and like I said before, typical Coheed and Cambria is better than most, but now add in typical Coheed and Cambria, which is better than most, and some new shit at the same time, and it makes for just a wonderful long-standing career and just great songs. Just great songs, album after album after album, and it's proving out to be no different here.
What you cannot be, I couldn't give.
Coheed and Cambria with their Inner Dream Theater. I can't pinpoint it right now, but that was definitely a callback. That was definitely a callback to something else. What was that a callback to? That little interlude there before we kick back into the chorus. I can't wait until I get to talk to my sons about this, and I say that this was, well, so far this was the most disappointing song on the album. I mean, it's a great song, and there was a lot of oohs and ahs, but as a whole, like, this was the first song where I was like, okay, like, where are we going? Again, I love Claudio's vocal performance on this was tremendous. Josh's drum performance is tremendous. The whole middle section, it's very progressive. It's just not, it didn't wow me like the rest of them did. And it's funny because on the last album, everybody went all gaga about the Ladders of Supremacy, and that song didn't hit me either. And now it's a fucking jam. It's a huge jam. So I'm sure I'll feel the same way after a few listens of this one. But that's why I like doing the initial, like, that's why I like doing it this way. Because I can't wait to go back in like a month or 2 months from now and be like, what the fuck was I talking about? Because I know I'm going to love that song. It's a great song. Tethered Together. Interesting. So I'm hearing a lot of Afterman stuff. So let's see. Here we go right here. Two themes throughout this whole album, and they both converge in the same section. My God, his voice, and my God, the melodies. I just can't. Let's just keep listening. Like, the chorus is so good that I already know it. Like, it's so earwormy that I already know it. That's the mark of a good chorus. Third time around, and I'm like, yep, I'm ready to sing it with you, baby. Well, that was earwormy as fuck. I already know the song. That was a good one. That was really good. All right, I think this is the last song, right? Am I mistaken? And so it goes. It sounds like it would be the last. Yes, it is. Only 6 minutes, so all right, let's see what we got. And so it goes, Continuum 4. I mean, this has 21 Pilots vibe? It has a 21 Pilots vibe. That's fucking crazy. This song has a 21 Pilots vibe. Even with the weird backwards thing voice that says, by the way, please somebody open this lock. So.
It's all in my head.
I can hear Tyler Joseph singing this. That's crazy. Well, that was... No, we're not going to listen to Vola now. So, that's the newest Coheed and Cambria album, the Vaxis 3. father of make believe. So my overall thoughts here are, I feel I hate to say this because I did like, so I love the last four songs, the continuums, right? Continuum 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Forever, Mr. Nobody was definitely, in my opinion, the best out of those four. Tethered Together, So It Goes, and then The Flood. So these were all great songs. So I would, I almost go as far as to say that this is a perfect album, but there's a caveat to it, okay? My initial response is that there wasn't one song on here that I could do without. Let's put it that way. There's not one song that I'm just like, ugh, whatever. If I never hear that again, that's fine. I do want to throw out there that at the very end there, the orchestral section at the very end piece of music there was from Afterman, which was a theme, a little theme that opened up the second part of Afterman, because Afterman was released in two parts. It was Afterman Ascension, Afterman Dissension, and it was the beginning of Dissension, and it was called Pre-Talethal. And hearing that orchestrated is amazing. Like, that was awesome. Like, that's very cool. And I do really love what Coheed is doing. I'm assuming it's Claudio, but I don't want to assume because, I mean, they're all great musicians, so who knows. But I'm assuming it's Claudio who's writing this orchestration or whatever and putting it together, and it's fucking awesome. Okay, in the last two albums, we've been hearing a lot of orchestration, and I think it's great. Okay, I think that's wonderful. With that being said, though, I almost feel like, I don't know, this was kind of underwhelming. This was underwhelming compared to the section at the end of Vaxis 2 with, I'm spacing on the names of these songs. I don't know what, Rise, Nyanasha, I forgot what it opened with, honestly. Vaxis 2, the end part. A window into the waking mind. A window of the waking mind, that's what it was. So this opened, in Vaxis 2 opened with Our Love was the beginning of their little, like, progressive suite at the end. So Our Love, Ladders of Supremacy, Rise, Nyanasha, Cut the Cord, and Window of the Waking Mind. Now, these four songs, I think, are better as a collective than the Continuum 4, okay? So when I say it's underwhelming, I'm just comparing it to themselves, okay? Compared to other bands out there doing this type of thing right now, which there aren't many, especially in the Coheed style of, like, you know, focusing less on technicality, 10-minute songs, 12, 15-minute songs, and just write pretty, like, just generally solid guitar-driven rock music with a pop sensibility and the occasional progressive technicality thrown in there. Nobody does it better than Coheed right now in that sense. So when comparing them to themselves, though, this one falls short. The last four songs as a collective fall short than what happened on Vaxis 2. With that being said, the first 8 songs, 9 songs, 10 songs, this is where Coheed and Cambria thrives, in my opinion. And I'm feeling like maybe, I don't know. I feel like maybe they're trying too much at the end of these albums, that they're trying to earn their progressive stripes or something, or really bring home the story. And I think that's okay. I don't know if they should stop doing it. It's just a mild criticism. That's all. It's just a mild criticism that these 4 songs, to me, aren't nearly as good as the first 10. So, and in the case of Vaxis 2, that's the opposite. I love the first 9 songs on Vaxis 2. You know, Disappearing Act, Shoulders, and Blood might be amongst my very favorite Coheed songs. Like, if I'm ever cultivating a list of favorite Coheed songs, those might make the list. But, like, Our Love, Ladders of Supremacy, Rise, Nyanasha, and Window of the Waking Mind I can listen to without fail at any given time. In fact, as soon as I'm done making this video, I'm probably going to put it on. Like, that's probably how this is going to go. But that's not to say that the continuums are bad. That's to say that my initial response is that they're just not as good as the Vaxis 2 suite. After 3 listens, maybe I'll come back and tell you and let you know how I feel about it going forward. But overall, this album is perfect. This album is just perfection in my first listen. I don't know if in subsequent listens certain songs are going to hit harder or fade after a while. Like, I know Vaxis 2, my initial response was like the song Bad Man. I don't like that song. Okay, so that's not a perfect album. To me, I skip Bad Man every time. And that hasn't changed. That album's been out, what, 2 years now? 2, 3 years? When did this album come? 2020. So it's been out almost 3 years. I think it came out in October. So it's like 2.5 years that album came out. And I still cannot listen to Badman. Every time I hear it, I hear Batman. I can't do it. I can't. I don't like it. I just don't like the song. So, and there's not a such song on Father of Make Believe here, because I like every song that I heard on here. There wasn't one song where I was like, whatever. Like The Flood was the only song that I felt maybe had a Queen of the Dark type of moment where it went on too long. But even with that, there's a phenomenal middle section in there that I'm sure once I dive into it even more, I'm going to love it even more. So I think time will tell the tale of the continuums. But the first 10 songs are just mwah. And the last 4 songs are really good, just not mwah, if that makes sense. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you're a Coheed and Cambria fan, tell me where this fits in your lexicon of Coheed albums. Tell me what songs you liked, what songs you didn't, whether you agree with me or not. Yeah, make sure you follow. If you're on the YouTube right now, make sure you follow and like the video. Share it with your friends. Share it with all your Coheed fan friends and let them know. And let them know I do a lot of other things here too, because I could use the people. Also, go on my social media pages, which are right here, wherever. And if you're not watching this on Patreon, go over to my Patreon and you can watch the entirety of this analysis, music and all. Little asides that I have in the middle of the songs that weren't present here in this video. There's more analysis to be found in the Patreon video, $3 a month. Plus you get old school and other things that I'm just going to be popping on there over the next several months. Outtakes and other series and other shows, things that I'm going to be live streaming over there at some point. So please go to Patreon. $3 a month is not much. And soon I'll be adding another tier where you can get like, I don't know, t-shirts or something else. I'm going to slap my logo feces on something and you're going to buy it, bitch. But no, seriously. Yeah, go over and check that out. And as always, thank you so much for being here with me, as I so much enjoy being here with you. And until next time, we will talk very, very soon. Bye.